Hi guys, it's day 226 on Bible in 1 Year, and today we are doing Ecclesiastes 9:13 to 12:14, 1 Corinthians 9:1 to 18, and Psalm 96 1 to 13. And we're carrying on with Ecclesiastes, and it's an interesting time for Solomon. He's weighing up a lot of things. People think he was quite old at this time, and he'd done quite a lot of things, some good and some bad, and I think he's just sitting down, just weighing everything up. And we read of a story about from verse 15 about how a small town came under attack, and how a poor wise man knew how to save the town. And it talks about how no one thought to save him. And the proverb goes on to say then that it's better to be wise than to have strength. And but just God spoke to me a few things on this, and it reminded me actually when I did like a training course ages ago, and it was a simple thing. We had to make a cup of tea, and there were different stages, and we had to set how quickly we could do it. And we were going around and whatever, and then I suddenly thought, oh, why don't we have like a hot water dispenser, an automatic one? So I said it. I didn't really say it that loud, if I'm honest, but I said it, and like the main person who was kind of running the team just kind of oh yeah, and ignored it and carried on. And then the person who was obviously watching, overseeing everything, and watching the team was like, I think Peter's got something really useful to say. And they all stopped and all looked at me, and I was thinking, what have I got to say? Like, and I realised what it was. It was only about a minute or two after I said it, and I said that, and they were like, "Oh yeah, 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 yeah," and all that and then obviously the big thing is it saves so much time in boiling a kettle than having an automatic water dispenser, and there's got to it's just be times that God has given me three things that uh, verse 16 and 17 he wants us to remember, and he said that to be bold, be wise, and be attentive. They're quite strange three words to have together, maybe wise and attentive, bold and being wise, but when to be bold, when to know to go forward, when to know when to trust in God. Well, it's always a trust in God, but know when to go forward when God has set out a way for you, if you don't like it or agree with it. To be wise, you know, um, make sure you know what you're doing at the end of the day. Get people's advice, ask people whatever it is, and three, be attentive. You know, be ready to listen to people, even if they perhaps not always had, sometimes the best things to say. Still, at least give them that ear because they may surprise you one day. And so yeah, so be bold, be wise, be attentive, and also as well, 12:11 kind of follows on as well. And I like this line that says, "The words of the wise are like cattle prods, painful but helpful." And and it's true. Sometimes the words of the wise are sometimes painful, but sometimes they're needed as well, and you need to be wise to be able to give words like that as well, and that's something to be careful of. And that's what that helped me quite nicely follow on to verse 18b, and it says, "Better to have wisdom than weapons of war, but one sinner can destroy much that is good." And what God kind of spoke to me was about Christians and how they speak to non-Christians and other Christians as well, and how that one person can destroy a relationship, one person can destroy, something that after building up so much, after perhaps someone else has built up so much. And so, you know what? Be wise, be attentive, and just be careful what you say. And we've been reading in 1 Corinthians that, and Paul says about those, be careful who you bother with. And but in specific, he says, I'm on about believers, not unbelievers, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to even live in this world if I said don't associate. And just kind of backs that up as well. I quite liked it. And that is that for the Old Testament, for my quick summary. And then I'm just going to finish off in Psalms. Psalms is 96:3. Publish his glorious deeds among the nations. Tell everyone about the amazing things he does. And God kind of just spoke to me and said, and he said this to me before as well, that, do you know what, when I've done something great, let people know, let the world know, because how on earth are they going to know otherwise? It's like the old lineage of, those who say, why don't we ever see anyone raised from the dead? And then, the wise person replies, how many dead people have you prayed for? And it's true. And so when something great goes on, use as an opportunity to witness, perhaps. What's right and with the individuals that you're speaking and dealing with. Right, that's the end of my summary. Thanks to the guys who have stayed to watch that. I'm going to go back now to the Old Testament, carrying on in Ecclesiastes, and verse 10. And it says, using a dull axe requires great strength to sharpen a blade. That's the value of wisdom. It helps you succeed. And what I kind of feel that one of the ways you can look at what the axe is being is knowledge. And if you don't sharpen your knowledge, you're going to be dull. Basically, there's no other pretty way of putting it. And so, how do you sharpen it? You put it against a word, and if you put it against a word, it'll sharpen your knife. And also be around others as well, other Christians, as the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. And so, it's important to know the word. When even if you don't think you're a great theological person, there'll be times perhaps to witness. God will put you in situations. And that's the other good thing as well. If you spend time in the Word and you know the Word, then God will use it to His advantage. And if that's bringing people and helping bringing people into His kingdom, well, for me, there's nothing better than that. And then seeing someone come in because you've played some part in it. And finally in 11:9, and I thought this was really good for youth. It says, young people, it is wonderful to be young. Enjoy every minute of it. Do everything you want to do. Take it all in. But remember, you must give an account to God for everything you do. You thought you got away with it then for a second, but you know what? You can do whatever you want. And your parents won't like me saying that. You can. But you know what? You've got to still give an account to God of everything you've done. And you know what? I don't know how it's going to work when we do give an account, but we're going to have to give an account maybe of our time that we spent. Give an account of the money we've spent. And so, you know what? When you go out and enjoy every minute, just make sure you're enjoying it, doing what the Lord wants you to do. And Corinthians, just to finish off quickly, it was just basically Paul talking about those who, it sums up really in verse 14, that God has said that those who preach the good news should be supported by those who benefit from it. And I really felt that God speak to me on a spiritual level as well for the leaders, that okay, this is all about being financially rewarded, but which is right and correct. And but I really felt a strong sort of thing that God was saying, you know what, to talk about that we need to support them spiritually and in prayer and encouragement as well. And it's all well and good, praying and whatever, but do you know what? No doubt they would appreciate some encouragement as well. If something you liked or whatever during the service or whatever, then let them know, whether it's personally, by text or whatever, or after church. But let them know that you support them and you love them, and that's it for me today, guys. God bless. See you tomorrow. Bye.